Full Moon, a narrative summary by Jim Butcher, Book 2 of the Dresden Files. The moon hangs heavy over Chicago, bright, bloated, and full. In the supernatural world, that's never a good sign. Full moons have always stirred ancient things awake, whispered to sleeping beasts, and brought violence in their wake. For Harry Dresden, Chicago's only professional wizard for hire, the full moon marks the start of one of the most brutal cases of his career. It begins, as it often does, with a body. Lieutenant Karen Murphy of Special Investigations reaches out to Harry again, this time with a corpse that doesn't fit any natural cause of death. The victim, an associate of notorious mobster Johnny Marconi, was found ripped apart, mauled actually, just outside a nightclub. Murphy thinks it might be a wild animal, maybe a rogue wolf, but the tracks are strange, the wounds unnerving, and the timing too suspicious. The full moon looms above. Harry visits the scene and confirms what Murphy suspects. This wasn't an animal. Not exactly. The tracks left behind morph from human to canine and back again. There's dark magic in the air, and Harry knows what he's dealing with. Werewolves, but not just one type. As Harry digs deeper, he learns that werewolves come in different shapes, sizes, and species. There are classic shape changers, cursed humans, magical practitioners who wear enchanted pelts, and others whose animal nature lives inside them, tied to rage and fury. In Full Moon, Butcher doesn't just show us a werewolf, he throws open the whole bestiary. At the center of the chaos is a biker gang called the Street Wolves, muscular, violent, and dangerous. Led by a man named Parker, the gang seems to relish their animal power, and they don't like questions. Dresden confronts them and barely escapes with his life, confirming that these are no ordinary toughs. They're loup-garous, monstrous werewolves with a thirst for blood. And they're not the only ones in play. There's also the Alphas, a younger, idealistic group of college students who can voluntarily shapeshift into wolves, thanks to a shared magical gift. They're not killers, but they're caught in the storm. Among them is Billy, a nerdy, earnest leader who looks to Dresden for guidance. The Alphas represent something new in Harry's world, a group of supernatural beings trying to do good, to protect their own, without falling into darkness. Meanwhile, the FBI has taken an unusual interest in the murders. Agents Denton and Ben reveal little but make it clear they don't want Dresden involved. Something about their cold eyes and clipped answers puts Harry on edge. When he starts tailing them, he sees the agents acting off. Too fast, too strong, too controlled. And then there's a package he intercepts. A strange talisman, pulsating with power. It's a wolf belt, the source of a Hexenwolf's strength. The plot thickens with the involvement of Tara West, a mysterious woman who hires Harry to protect her friend, Harley McFinn. McFinn is a noble environmentalist and a man under a curse. Every full moon, he becomes a loup-garou, unstoppable, mindless, and deadly. He locks himself away during transformations, trying to minimize damage. But when the police arrest him for public disturbance, he's imprisoned during the full moon. If he transforms behind bars, the slaughter will be catastrophic. Harry tries to warn Murphy, but his credibility is wearing thin. She feels Harry has been holding back ever since the Victor Sells case. The rift between them is growing. With a werewolf about to break loose in a police precinct and multiple factions of shape-changers roaming the city, trust is a luxury they can't afford. Things go from bad to worse. At the precinct, Harry is too late. McFinn's transformation is horrifying. Bones snap, fur bursts from skin, and the loup-garou unleashes a killing spree. It tears through the station, killing officers and anyone in its path. Harry and Murphy barely escape with their lives. The incident leaves the department in chaos, and Murphy, on suspension, reeling from what she's seen. And now Harry has a crisis on every front. The Loup-Garou McFinn, the rogue FBI agents who turn out to be Hexenwolves using magic to become predators at will, the dangerous Street Wolves gang, and the growing suspicion that Johnny Marconi is tied into this mess somehow. Butcher layers the conflicts expertly. We learn that the Hexenwolves, Agents Denton, Ben, and their unit, are former operatives who lost themselves to the magic of the wolf belts. They believed they were above the law, able to take justice into their own hands. With each kill, they slipped further into their animal selves. Now they want to use the chaos to take down Marcone permanently, regardless of collateral damage. They see themselves as righteous avengers, but Harry sees them for what they've become: monsters. The Street Wolves, meanwhile, try to recruit Dresden. They believe power is everything, and Harry, with his magic, is an asset they want on their side. When he refuses, they mark him for death. And then there's Terra West. Mysterious and otherworldly, Harry suspects she's not human. It turns out she's a wolf who can become human, not the other way around. She's a true shapeshifter, driven by primal instinct, but capable of great wisdom. Her love for McFinn is what brought her to Harry. She believes he can be saved, but time is running out. With all these factions circling, Harry is stretched to his limit. His relationship with Murphy is crumbling. The White Council is breathing down his neck. And physically, he's battered, bruised, and running low on magical strength. But he pushes forward, digging into the heart of the conspiracy. Eventually, Harry discovers the full picture. The Hexenwolves are orchestrating the chaos. They framed McFinn for the murders to stir up the police. They're planning to unleash him at a high-profile meeting of the city's leaders, where Marconi and several public officials will be in attendance. It's a political strike disguised as a supernatural accident. They'll kill everyone, pin it on McFinn, and walk away as heroes who tried to stop it. Harry can't let that happen. In the climax of Full Moon, Harry storms the site of the planned massacre, a mansion in the woods outside Chicago. A thunderstorm rages overhead. The full moon gleams like a silver knife. Harry, armed with little more than his staff, his wits, and sheer determination, faces off against the Hexenwolves in a brutal battle. He's outmatched physically, but he understands magic. He breaks the wolf belts, shatters the enchantments, and exposes the truth. Murphy, despite her suspension, shows up at the 11th hour. Armed with silver bullets and courage, she saves Harry's life and takes down one of the Hexenwolves herself, finally seeing the supernatural world for what it is. The bond between her and Harry, tested and frayed, begins to mend. They might never fully trust each other, but they now share something unshakable: blood, pain, and truth. McFinn, though freed from imprisonment, cannot be saved. In his final transformation, he sacrifices himself to stop the last of the Hexenwolves. Terra, heartbroken, disappears into the wild, returning to the forests that shaped her. The Alphas survive, shaken but determined to continue protecting their own. Billy steps up as a quiet leader, with Harry's reluctant blessing. Marconi, wounded but alive, owes Dresden a debt. The crime lord walks away with his empire intact, ever the survivor. He offers Harry a token of appreciation, which Harry refuses. He's not ready to dance in those shadows. Themes and character. Growth. Full Moon expands the emotional depth of Harry Dresden. He's still sarcastic, still stubborn, but more vulnerable now. He learns that power comes in many forms, not just magical. Trust, loyalty, and the ability to stand against corruption are just as crucial. Murphy undergoes a powerful transformation as well. From skeptic to witness, she begins to realize the world is far darker and more complex than she imagined. Her strength isn't diminished by the revelation, it's sharpened. Thematically, the book explores the nature of rage and transformation. The werewolves, each a reflection of human instinct run wild, serve as metaphors for loss of control, moral corruption, and the temptation to give in to anger. The Hexenwolves in particular show what happens when people begin to believe they are the law. Unchecked, unchallenged, unhuman. There's also a growing exploration of Harry's place in the world. He's not just a wizard anymore. He's becoming a defender, a guardian, a man who stands between the ordinary and the monstrous, even if it means walking that line himself. Conclusion. In Full Moon, Jim Butcher delivers a darker, bloodier, and more emotionally complex sequel to Stormfront. The stakes are higher, the enemies more vicious, and the moral lines blurrier. It's not just about magic. It's about what people do with power, how they handle fear, and who they become when the beast inside is unleashed. For Harry Dresden, it's another night of blood and magic. But he survives. Because that's what wizards do.